Yo, what's up, guys? It's Weisher. Welcome back to another episode of Cup of Poe. In this episode of Cup of Poe, we're going to talk about the patch reveal from GGG, or Path of Exile 2. We're going to talk about the streamer and influencer crash out, and my thoughts on the game. Let's get it. All right. Well, first things first, I'm extremely excited about the patch. As usual, Grinding Gear Games puts out an extremely polished product. And I have nothing but good things to say about them and the work that they do on Path of Exile. Some of the positive things that I thought came out of the reveal were obviously the Druid in all three forms, Bear, Wolf, and Wyver. It's kind of crazy to think that we got, kind of like three characters in one. I still don't know how they do that. Somebody needs to ask Jonathan what his IQ is, because that guy is a genius. And nothing against the rest of the team. I'm sure they're great too. It takes a team to really come up with something like this and put out a product such as Path of Exile 2. But yeah, so first positive, the Druid. Second positive, and really I think this is going to be a massive improvement on the game, is the optimization. Right. I was saying this. I've been saying this over the last few weeks. There's been a massive conversation around clarity. It's people's games, just bogging down or not hitting frames, yada, yada, yada. And I was constantly saying that I thought it was an optimization issue, which I think I was just proved right in that patch reveal. They optimized, I can't remember exactly, there's something with the CPUs and the cores, so that we should be getting about 25% more frames, right? So massive W. Let's see how that plays out. And like I always say, just manage your expectations when it comes to games like this. Modern games are graphic intense, right? Most people's computers cannot run on the highest quality settings. So yeah, just manage your expectations, right? But, that's the second major positive, in my opinion, that came out of this. The third thing is the, Abyss going core. I think that's great. The bones have, a lot of crafting potential, and I think that's going to play well into just kind of like making this a well-rounded game and giving us, many different avenues to progress and experience the game. As well as the Vow and this new in-game mechanic that I'm probably really going to struggle with, and I'll probably have to get on Reddit or, watch a couple YouTube videos myself on. But nonetheless, it looks exciting. I'm down to try new stuff. I love how Path of Exile, challenges me mentally. It's one of the big draws to the game, in my opinion, is you have to think. It's not easy. If you really want to min-max your character, you got to put in the time and effort. So yeah, I mean, overall, I think it was a massively well-received patch, at least for the casual community. There was that initial, backlash from the community, though, when it came to them not getting endgame, right? Endgame has been the main topic of discussion, for months now. The endgame needs work, but if we're being honest with ourselves, the end game is actually better than every other ARPG end game out there, except for PoE 1, which is also made by Grinding Gear Games. So, I just think it's a matter of time. It's something that the team knows they can improve on, right? They have the capability to improve on it. I just think it's a time issue. I think it's a time and resources issue. They obviously know how to make a good end game. They just haven't had the time and effort, time and resources to put it into Path of Exile 2. I think there's an argument to be made that, they're still putting a decent amount of resources into PoE 1. And if they did shift that into PoE 2, we'd probably get quite a few updates fairly quickly, right? I'm not saying like they're doing the wrong thing or anything, but I think that's definitely a discussion that they've had internally. And they just thought that it was an acceptable loss to not have to push the Druid over endgame for this patch. Thanks to Try for making that the number one issue in the PoE2 community is the Druid. Shout out to my man Try. But yeah, the crash out was enormous. After the reveal, a lot of people talking negatively about it. A lot of people with negative, posts on X, etc. I'm just holding my ground and just backing up Grinding Gear Games all the way. Those guys know what they're doing. I'm trusting them to make a great game. And let's remember, we're still in early access, y'all. We're still in early access. So moving forward, let's just give GGG some grace. Let's give them some space. Let's support them, through the cosmetics, etc. And give them some constructive criticism, but let's not act like they're just a terrible company. They listen to the players. They are extremely transparent. And they're not as, big and as well funded as, let's say Blizzard or Activision, any of those large companies. So they got to be smart with their time. They got to be smart with, their resources and strategically plan out these patches. So with that being said, let's get it, man. We'll be grinding on December 11th. We'll be grinding this league. I'm probably going to go with wolf form, I don't know, something about the speed of the wolf just kind of attracts me. So I think I'll go with wolf. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Whether you're going to go bear, wolf, or wyver. And let's get it, man. I'll holla at you boys. Thanks for stopping in another episode of Cup of Poe. Peace.